I didn't have a final decision yet. I still wanted to figure out who I was. I had a very difficult time transitioning from middle school to high school. Pretty much all the friends I had in middle school, I just fell out of contact with. I went to PSEP, which was a combination of 3 different high schools, all on one campus. So I had a really hard time making friends. I wasn't really sure what I was good at. I had low self-esteem. Then quarantine happened in the middle of freshman year. Sophomore year, half of it was virtual, and during that time on virtual, I had an intro to video production class run by the only video teacher in the entire 3 schools, Miss Janet Sutherland. Class being on virtual made it a bit harder for Janet to come up with things that we could do since we didn't have access to the studio. So she had us film things at home and edit them on WeVideo. I had a good time filming like small little commercials at home, and I even had fun editing them. Sophomore year, after that point specifically, things began to look up for me. Junior year, I started taking the official advanced video production class, and I began talking to more people because I saw them every single day, and we actually did activities together. We ran the announcements. It was called STS, short for Student Television Station, and I really enjoyed the class. Senior year was kind of the perfect year. I felt confident in myself. I started taking a bit more control of my life. I figured out that I really love video production, and I wanted to pursue that. I had found friends. And despite my enjoyment of my senior year, I still felt an overwhelming dread as soon as I found somewhere that I felt like I belonged. I knew that it was gonna end that same year and I was gonna have to move away, and it was all gonna be over. My mom really wanted me to go to university. She was riding the Michigan State University train. My mother, she went to Michigan State University. She also had a rough time in high school and had a hard time making friends, but when she went to Michigan State, she made more friends and she made good memories. And she wanted me to have that same experience because she knew the hard experience I had when it came to making friends. Michigan State was kind of the dream school for both me and my mom. I had explored other colleges, but Michigan State was the one that, in my opinion, had the best video program. My mom hyped up Michigan State throughout my entire life. And even as a little kid, I wanted to go to Michigan State. I thought,
oh my gosh, my mom went to Michigan State. I want to go to Michigan State, woohoo.
But when the time came to actually apply, I was really nervous that I wasn't going to get in, but I ended up actually getting accepted. I told my mom that I was accepted as soon as I got home, and she was very happy. My dad and my brothers were very happy for me too. But as the months were starting to go down, I slowly realized that I did not really want to go. I specifically didn't want to go to university. And at first I thought to myself, oh, it's just because of money. I want to save money. I'm stressed about student debt and all that, which was true. But I also just didn't want to go to Michigan State because I wasn't ready to leave. I was scared to move away from Canton, where I grew up, and move to East Lansing, where Michigan State was. I was just really worried about what I was going to do when I was up there, and I didn't know anyone. Until my senior year, I never really had any strong friendships or any hobbies. And when that finally reached, it was just gone like that. I didn't want to just have to immediately phase into a new period of my life to become like this new person. I still wanted to figure out who I was. I don't remember the exact moment of when I decided that community college was the best option. I believe I just had enough of the thoughts and the stress, and I really wanted to get what I wanted to say out. And so I looked a bit more into community college. One stressful day, I went into the kitchen and talked to my parents about it. I told my mom, I think it would be best if I went to community college. She was trying to convince me that it was a bad idea. She said that I wasn't going to have the same social experience. I was still going to be at home while everyone else was going to school. What started as a small argument turned into a bit of a bigger fight, and I kind of lashed out and told my mom that you're so concerned with me being social that you don't care about how I feel. And it was actually after they saw like the out-of-pocket cost for Michigan State when they actually decided that I was right. Mom said that she would help me look for community colleges. By the time I decided to go to community college and completely shift plans, even though I was already accepted into Michigan State, even though I had told everyone that I was going to Michigan State, and I changed my mind last second. It was nearing the end of April, and my last day of my senior year was the end of May, and I still had no idea where I was going. I felt very hopeless. I have found a place where I belonged, and then I had to leave, and everyone else was excited about leaving. They were going to colleges. Everyone was wearing their college merch, and I didn't have a final decision yet. Part of me was really mad at my parents for hyping up college ever since I could remember. They hyped up how smart I was and how I was gonna get in a good college. I felt this pressure to go to a university, even though I wasn't even sure if I wanted to go to a university. All of the feelings that I felt in freshman year came flooding back to me. I felt like I was never gonna be as good enough as my peers, who already decided where they were going. Eventually, I just went over to Janet and told her how I was feeling. She told me that there was a community college called Washtenaw Community College in Ann Arbor. And she said some of her former students went there and are still going there and are having a great time. She told me that the video program was really great. So I took the liberty of looking up Washington Community College. I looked at their video program. I looked at the directions to the community college, and I applied. My mom, I convinced her to take me to an orientation. We went, we walked around, and I decided to go to Washington Community College. I drove over here my first day. The next day, I had my first video production class. I was scared that people were going to think that I wasn't competent or that I wasn't on their level. But as the semester went on, I made friends. I was shocked that I made friends as soon as I did. The funny thing is, right before I started, my mom asked me the question, do you regret not going to Michigan State and being like your former classmates? I thought about it for 2 seconds before telling her that I didn't regret it. I am so happy that I went to WCC for so many reasons. Every single teacher that I've had has been very passionate about the subject they taught. I'm able to take a variety of video classes. I got to meet a variety of people. I feel like I also just became more responsible. I feel like I was able to manage my time better and just grow up more. It was easily the best decision I ever made. This one has changed my life. So here I am, now planning to transfer to Michigan State University. Key word there is transfer. The 2 years that I spent at Washtenaw Community College, still living at home, have been so helpful. Because now I finally feel ready to go off to a bigger college. I wouldn't have made the decision to go to WCC if it weren't for Janet Sutherland, my high school video teacher. She's been such an influence on me, and I cannot thank her enough for all of the advice and all of the guidance she's given me over the 3 years that I had her as my teacher. I miss those classes, but I'm glad that I took them, and I'm glad I can take more classes. Without those classes, I wouldn't have been able to find what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, who I wanted to meet, what I wanted to be. And that was what I kind of wanted my entire life. I wanted to find who I wanted to be. So thank you, Janet, and thank you, WCC.